Welcome to the My Future Living podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are in Home Tour House in Exmouth with Paul and Lindsey, who recently moved into a My Future Living property. And we're going to be finding out a little bit more about your experience with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. So as I say, you've recently moved here. Can you just let us know what prompted you to move in the first place?
I think one of the main driving forces was that where we lived was a very large Victorian building, which was lovely, along with a garden, but it was getting too much.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, and that coupled with what's becoming more and more unstable private letting, we were looking for something that was more secure in our older age.
Yeah, no, completely understand that. So it was the assured tenancy that we offered. Was that something that was important to you?
It was very important, yes.
Yeah. And for those who are unfamiliar with the term, it basically means that you've got security that you can stay here as long as you like, as long as obviously you do pay your bills and adhere to the tenancy agreement.
Yes.
But obviously that security and peace of mind was in the forefront of your mind. And I know that you've always wanted, Lindsey, to live in Exmouth. Were you really familiar with the area before?
We've been to Exmouth quite a lot, and I've got a friend here, and we just really like it here. And when we first came and saw this, it was like, yep, that's it, I want it.
Yeah, because we viewed a few before, hadn't we? And location is important.
Yeah. And what was the main draw of the location of this particular development?
Lindsey always wanted to live in Exmouth, didn't you?
Yeah.
And with Lindsey still working part-time at the RD&E, she needed to be able to get in and out easily.
Yeah.
So I take her in the mornings, and she often just jumps on the bus back in the evenings.
Yeah, it's very simple because the bus is right outside the hospital and literally just drops us off just up the road there, so it's ideal.
Yeah.
And it's close to shops and...
Yeah, I was going to say, because we drove past, unsure about the parking initially, and we actually saw that there is a really nice row of shops a bit further down. Do you find you use them quite regularly?
Just a little further on is the main shopping centre, Magnolia Place it's called. It has absolutely everything there, butchers, greengrocers, every sort of shop you could possibly want. It also has excellent out-of-town shopping just a bit further on the road, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the car up the road.
Yeah.
It's got everything we need, really.
Yeah.
In fact, it's got better shops here than it did where we were before.
Okay, where was it you were before?
We were in St Thomas's in Exeter.
Right, okay.
And they'd lost a lot of little shops, hadn't they? So it's really nice having lots of basically cell-phoned businesses rather than big
corporations.
Yeah, there's lots of really nice little shops in Exmouth.
I think we're seeing a trend of that, aren't we? In certainly in the bigger towns, where actually the high streets are becoming more and more empty, and they're all going on to kind of big industrial estates out of town.
Yeah.
Which become problematic if you don't want to drive there all the time. So actually having things on your doorstep like that.
It's quite pleasant to just walk. It's about 5 minute, 10-minute walk down the road, easy, comfortable walk into town to do our shopping. If you overload yourself, the bus comes straight back past here from town. Just across the way, 5 minutes walk, we're right on the estuary, and that goes all the way back up to Exeter, the Exeter Trail.
Yeah.
And about 15 minutes the other direction, we're on the beach.
Yeah.
Do you go to the beach?
We go to the beach, yes. That was one of the main driving forces of coming here, wasn't it?
Yes.
We walked down to town, across the gardens and out onto the beach.
Yeah, so you probably do more walking now than you did before.
Yes, quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, which is actually, I think, is a really nice thing.
Yeah.
You can get out and you don't have to take the car or have to take the bus. You can actually...
We're right on the cycle trails as well. I got an electric bike, so I cycle quite a lot. So you can literally cycle from here to Exeter on the cycle trail along the river and the estuary.
Lovely.
Or you can go all the way to Budley Salterton the other way, not even really touching the roads.
Yeah. Oh, that's ideal.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really good. So you've said that you looked at other properties when obviously you came across this one. What was the main reason that you really liked this one, this actual apartment?
Location.
Yeah.
Like I said, the living room has 2 bay windows, which is very nice because we have 2 sort of aspects out. We did look at one at Seaton, which was beautiful. It had a balcony overlooking the sea front and everything, but the mileage was far too much to get to Exeter.
Yeah.
And we looked at one actually across the river from us in Exeter, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which again was very nice, but we weren't really changing anything other than just the house for the apartment.
Yeah.
So when we come and saw this one, when we walked out the door, I said to Lindsay, I'm going to phone up. And I'd phoned up and said that we were interested before we'd even got to the car.
Yeah.
You were that smitten, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
And how did you find dealing with the team at My Future Living when you were looking at this place and moving forward?
Very, very helpful and friendly. They, be honest, couldn't have been more helpful and friendly. Full of lots of advice. And any queries we had were answered instantly, weren't they? Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant. And were there any sort of snags when you were moving in, or did it all go exactly as you wanted?
Not on the My Future Living side. A couple of our references thought that there wasn't any real need to be in a hurry to do anything, and one of them moved.
Oh.
It's obvious if you're going to do so, there's going to be snags, but not from My Future Living. No, they were even helpful and understanding, redirecting posts to Jan, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because she'd moved up country. Retired and moved up country, so they redirected it up to her, didn't they? So yeah, they were very helpful.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so how long did the process actually take from you viewing the property the first time to moving in?
I think it took a month, didn't it?
Yeah, about a month and a half, but we were down on holiday in Cornwall when they phoned up and said, yes, we got it. So we did have to cut the holiday short by 2 days. But yeah, about a month and a half.
And that worked quite well with the timescales you were working with your previous landlord and everything?
Oh, yes. I mean, we'd been there over, about 10 years or more, and we knew the landlord personally anyway, so they were quite happy to, go with what we wanted.
That's great. So we understand that from where you moved, you've actually downsized fairly considerably.
Yeah, a lot.
So how did you find that process, and what sort of tips would you give to other people facing the same challenge?
You need to prioritise what's really important to you. You can appreciate with a 2-bedroom large style house, you collect a lot of clutter. So you do have to think, what do we really want?
Yeah.
What do we really need? And the other thing, and probably the biggest and most important tip I could give anyone, is when you come to view, bring a tape measure.
Yes.
Because inevitably, all of your furniture is not going to fit.
Yeah.
So you need to know in advance, before it gets on the furniture van, where something is going to go and will it fit. That is probably the biggest thing, isn't it? Is measure, so that you know whether your table will fit or whether it won't.
Yeah.
And you can then plan accordingly. Other than that, letting go is difficult, but I don't think we'd go back now, would we?
No. I mean, we did get rid of an awful lot of stuff.
Yes. But we had the
we've
garden,
got the things
sheds,
we wanted.
the greenhouses, and
yeah,
it's once you get in the mindset, it's really nice to let go.
Yeah.
You don't, at our age, really need all that paraphernalia. And yes, we wouldn't go back to a larger property now. No.
Yeah, so you're finding this kind of much easier to manage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's all on one level. The complex has a guest suite, So if the children or the grandchildren want to come at Christmas or something like that, we can book the guest suite for them for a few days or a week or whatever. So they can come and stay, but unlike the old days when we were falling over them in the living room in sleeping bags, they're not in here.
Yeah. No,
which is quite lovely.
That's a massive benefit, because I've had it as well where people have stayed over and it is like that. You literally you walk out of the kitchen and you fall over a pillow. So Lindsay, I understand that you're still currently working part-time, and Paul, you've actually now fully retired.
Yeah.
Do you find there's enough actually going on in the local area to keep you occupied?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I like cycling. I enjoy fishing. Belong to a local club. So yes, there's plenty that way to do. There's lots of walks in the area. When Lindsay's not at work, we do quite a lot of walking. The complex itself has quite an active residents community. They have tea 3 times a week in the afternoon to get together and chat. They have a bingo night, a quiz night, cards night. They have different lots of people. Last week it was a group of ukulele players come in and entertain us for an evening. And they do quite a few trips out, don't they?
Yes, they do, yeah.
We did the Christmas dinner trip over the Dawlish,
that was
on the
fun.
coach. So yes, and with the local shops and amenities, the local cinema and everything, there's lots to do, lots and lots.
Oh, that's really positive. And do you think that you've actually made some more friends since you've moved in here?
Lots.
Yes.
Lots of friends. They're very, very, very friendly here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So are there any financial benefits that you would say you've enjoyed since you've moved here?
Oh, lots really. I mean, our council tax has gone down, which is good. And overall, our outgoings are a lot less expensive. So it's definitely been a bonus, hasn't it? Really?
Oh yes, I mean even the car insurance is cheaper because it's on the car park now with a locked gate. That knocked 40 odd quid a year off my car insurance.
It all helps, doesn't it?
It all helps.
Well, that's really good to hear. And do you find it reassuring to live in a place that will support you more as you age more?
Yes, very much so. I mean, watching, there's lots of different people much older than us in the building. Everybody looks after each other, and it is reassuring knowing that because Paul's health isn't as good as it used to be, that when I'm at work, if I couldn't get hold of him, I could ring the manager and go, can you just check that he's okay?
Yeah.
And there's someone around just to check.
Yeah, I imagine that's really reassuring.
It is. It's very reassuring.
We've got the pull cords, haven't we, that
yeah.
we use, and it's like last week when we weren't very well. The first thing I got from Carol, the manager, was, "Is there any shopping you need us to get?"
Yeah.
Then the whole community is like that.
Yeah, and that must be incredibly reassuring because actually, like I was, when 2 of you are ill, you rely on each other. If one of you's feeling poorly, the other one will help out.
Yeah.
When both of you are feeling poorly, it can be quite isolating because nobody wants to go out and do anything or pop to the shop. So I think having that community around you must have been an absolute godsend. No, really good to hear. Would you recommend this type of move to others?
Oh yes,
very
absolutely.
Much so.
I wish that we'd done it earlier. I mean, it's made life so much easier. Everything's on one level, cleaning wise and maintaining wise. It's much easier.
And can you just let us know how you actually found My Future Living?
Well, that was me. I was at work and during a break, and our rent had gone up again where we were before, and we were both getting rather concerned about it. And I just happened to put into Google retirement flats to rent, and My Future Living came up with a couple of others, and I sent the link to Paul, and
I took it from there.
he took it from there, and we haven't looked back really.
I think there were 3 that come up.
Yeah.
And I looked at all of them, and I chose My Future Living mainly because what they were advertising
Yeah.
was what we were looking for and in areas that we wanted.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be right in the big city still, although you had one in Exeter. It was nicer to move closer to the coast.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point actually, because we always try and have properties available that will suit people who want the kind of the rush of the city living, whether they want a market town, whether they're looking for village or by the coast. We try and make sure we've got properties available in those sort of locations to suit everyone's retirement lifestyle, what they would like to achieve in retirement. So it's really good to hear that that worked for you. And lastly, how would you sum up your experience overall?
It's been excellent.
Yes, a little hectic at first with moving in.
Yeah, the moving in was...
And numerous trips to charity shops and things like that. But
trading
once
with the local
we were
business.
in and got everything where we wanted it, and that it's been absolutely wonderful. It's been really, really nice.
You know, that's absolutely lovely to hear. And as I was saying earlier, My Future Living really do care about its customers, and it's really, really lovely for you to share your experience and your story with us today. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And we are just delighted that you're so happy in your new home. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.